Well, we're down to the semi-finals of the Galvin Murphy Hooper Dolan Juvenile Classic here in Tralee. Two very competitive semi-finals on the way tonight. I'm joined by on-course bookmaker Berkey Brown. Berkey, we'll start, I suppose, with the opening semi-final. Linson Rocky, talking to Pat Buckley last week, he thinks he'd favour the inside draw, but he's got it tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. Look, he drew six last night. Weren't too sure whether it suited him or not. He bombed out and he looked for the inside on the way down. He's definitely better house tonight than one. Look, he's done 28-30 the first night. He repeated it the last night. He looks a certainty to get a run out of the box. He's a 6-4 on shot with me. If he leads down, he'll do 28. He'll do around the same time, and he's a real good dog. He looks the real deal. He has it early, he has it late, so it's going to be hard to beat this fella.
Of course, Ray Patterson bought a half share of Skywalker Manor during the week. He looks probably the biggest rival to the Jolly.
Probably is. I'm just not convinced that he's going to get it all his own way out of 4. Ran a cracker the last night. Out of 6, held his line going down, but 3 dog could worry him going down, and I think the 5 dog might be just moving in a tad. Look, if he gets a run, he's going to be, he'll make the frame, but it's the top for me. I just find it impossible to see him not getting a run.
There's a batch of them there, Berkey, at 5-1. What would you see qualifying? Look, it's hard to look beyond the two favourites, but what's in there to qualify?
It is, yeah. The bottom dog done a 294 massive split and done a big halfway split the first night. The Turin Bolt dog missed the kick the last night, but if he took a flare from the outside, he could definitely be challenging going to the corner. He'd do 28.50, but he's real good early when he hits at the bottom dog.
On to the second semi-final, Berkey. Look, Paul Hennessy's dog, if he breaks, he could do the clock here. But really found a lot of trouble in a 4-dog race last night, but once he got to halfway, he flew down the back.
Yeah, this is a real pacey dog from halfway home, but he hasn't got it. He just probably lacks the art of early, but he's going to be hurt at this. Real fast dog. He'll need a bit of luck and running. It's a good heat. McKenna's dog in 3, Escapism, hasn't hit it yet, but is doing a real run coming home both nights. Ran a great dog to qualified last night, and Top Dog terribly well housed. Done 28.40 last night for Graham Holland. Best drawn dog in the race, the top. Second favourite with me at 5-2, 6-4 Hennessy's the 5 dog. Look, if the 5 dog can be within touch going up the back, he's the dog they all have to beat. The Escapism, I think Jerry Griffin's dog in 4 could do this fella coming out. I think he'll do well to get a run out of 3 tonight, McKenna's dog. So look, if Hennessy's dog's in touch down the back, he's going to be the one to beat.
So that's how it stands from a bookmaking point of view. We'll be coming up very shortly now with the 2 semi-finals of the Galvin Murphy Hooper Dolan Juvenile Classic here at the Kingdom Greyhound Stadium.
Greyhounds on parade now for our first semi-final in the Galvin Murphy Hooper Dolan.ie Insurance's Juvenile Classic. 3 to qualify. Trap 1, Linson Rocky, owned by Len Ponder from England, trained by Pat Buckley. In Trap 2 this evening is Cullivanny Bryan, owned by Mark Lowther from Hertfordshire in England, trained by Noel Brown. Trap 3 is Ramble In, owned by the 10 of Us Syndicate, headed by Philip Enright from Abbeyfield and trained by Patrick O'Connor. Trap 4, Skywalker Manor, owned by Anne O'Connor and Ray Patterson from Ballyhigh, trained by Graham Holland. Trap 5 is Tommy's Lord, owned by John David from Kent in England, trained by Peter Cronin. And in Trap 6 is Turi Bolt, owned by Michael Ambrose from Athay and trained by Patrick O'Connor. That's the lineup for race 8.
Is running for our 8th race. First semi-final in our Juvenile Classic. 3 to qualify. Trap 1, Linson Rocky. 2, Cullivanny Bryan. 3, Ramble In. 4, Skywalker Manor. 5, Tommy's Lord. And 6, Turi Bolt. We're going to go for race number 8, and it's good break by 1. The favourite on the inside, Linson Rocky, takes him into the opening bend from 6 and 5. Then comes 2, 4 and 3 as they go around the opening couple of bends. Trap 1 going well from 6 and 5 as they go down the back straight now. Trap 1, Linson Rocky out in front from Turi Bolt at the halfway stage. It's 1, 6, 5 going well. Flying in towards the third bend is Trap 1, Linson Rocky. 6 still there with a chance as they come towards the final bend. They pulled away from 5 and 3. Linson Rocky out in front, unlikely to get caught as they come down towards the winning line. A great performance again by this one. 1, 6 and 5 they cross the line. Linson Rocky in a cracking time of 28.35.
So Linton Rocky takes the opening semi-final here with the Galvin Murphy Hooper Dolan Juvenile. A trap-to-line victory, very impressive again tonight, Pat.
Yeah, he's very good. I think he seems to do it out of every box. Trap one, he did a 6-1. He seems to be able to come out of any box.
Well, first round I think trap 4, trap 6 last time. You said the last time you prefer to see him inside further, and really he pinged it tonight from 1.
Yeah, I'd love to see him in trap 3 or 4. I'd say would be his ideal box to fly off the lids, and hopefully he'll do that in the final.
Looks like, well, I know we've another semi-final up, but coming up now next, but it looks like he probably will go off the jolly in the final, Pat.
Yeah, which is, there's still 6 more dogs to run yet. They're very good, We're not worried about that if he performs, he's if he gets a nice draw.
He's a real exciting dog, looking forward to the summer and a lot of the big races coming up, especially in headquarters in Shelburne Park.
Yeah, he looks like a dog, we'll take him, he looks like a Wimbledon type, a big long run to the bend, should suit him, and I'd say the top of the ground better. Summer going will obviously suit a young dog better, so hope for the best.
Well, best of luck in the final, Pat. We'll see you here hopefully next week.
Thanks very much, thank you.
Greyhounds on parade for the second semi-final in the Galvin Murphy Hooper Dolan.ie Insurance's Juvenile Classic. Trap 1 is Silver Hill Pat, owned by Eugene Buckley from Athay, trained by Graham Holland. 2 is Timwell Baz, owned by Terry Corden from Nottingham in England, trained by Peter Grogan. Trap 3 is Escapism, owned by Emma Coffey from Youghal, trained by Owen McKenna. In 4 is Mobile Tracker, owned by the Roe Reynolds Sherlock Syndicate from Abbeyfield, trained by Jerry Griffin. Trap 5 is 007, owned by Freddie Joint from Fulham in England, trained by Paul Hennessy. And Trap 6 is Tame and Twister, owned by Martina McCann from Dundalk.
Here's running for our 9th race, second semi-final in our Juvenile Classic. 3 to qualify. Trap 1, Silver Hill Pat. 2, Timwell Baz. 3, Escapism. 4, Mobile Tracker. 5, 007. And 6 is Tame and Twister. Well, we go for our second semi-final. A bit of crowding at the start there. 4 headed towards the fence and 3 leads from 2. Then goes 4, 6, 1 and 5. Round the opening corner they go, and trap 2 out in front. That's Timwell Baz. From trap 3, Escapism. Then comes 1 going 1 up the inside, Silver Hill Pat. Anybody's race at the halfway stage, with 3 starting to motor it towards the third bend, but 2 still there with a chance. But it's Escapism. It goes on now at the third bend from 2. Then comes 1, 6, 4 and 5. Tightly grouped up front. Escapism out in front by a couple over the early pace 2 as they turn for home and down towards the inline. Trap 3, Escapism wins the second semi-final from 2, close to third. The running time 28.64.
So the second semi-final of the Galvin Murphy Hooper Dolan Juvenile goes to a very gutsy Escapism. I'm joined now by Owen McKenna. As I said, very gutsy.
Yeah, it's hard to see from the middle of the track what's going on, but he got squares up like 4 was going in him straight away, and he looked in good enough position on the bend with the 2 that were inside him, and he looked to have a great chance on the back straight, and he just got clipped at the third bend, so he looking to get through there, but we're in the final and it's delighted.
He drove hard into that third bend. He showed good power to I know he got clipped, but it was kind of from behind at that stage. He really had the hard work done.
He did. He's a strong running dog. Like, he mightn't be the ideal Tralee dog, probably more of a 550 dog at the same time, but like, he's in the final, and if we take a draw maybe out a bit further, I'd say that might suit him better. He's a big dog, like, so he needs a bit of room, but he's a pacey dog, you know what I mean, so it's nice to be in the final.
I suppose anything maybe 4, I suppose would be maybe the ideal box, 4 or 5.
4 or 5, yeah, we're in the final, we'll take what we get, so it's nice to be back in the final.
Okay, so best of luck in the final, on, and thanks for everything, and hopefully we'll be chatting again next week.
Thanks a lot, thank you.
Escapism. Trap 2. Will be Linton Rocky. Trap 3 will be Mobile Tracker. 4 will be Turi Bolt. 5 is Tommy's Lord, and 6 would be Tyne Walbag, hopefully. And thankfully it is. Yeah. Tyne Walbag gets trap 6, so the full draw from the top. Trap 1 Escapism, trap 2 is Keen Move, 3 Mobile Tracker, 4 Turi Bolt, 5 Tommy's Lord, 6 is Tyne Walbag.
So we've had two very exciting semi-finals and of course the all-important draw. I'm now joined by Dennis Murphy, Managing Director of Galvin Murphy Hooper Dolan. Fantastic night here, semi-finals night for the Galvin Murphy Hooper Dolan at the Kingdom Ground Stadium.
Yeah, great night again tonight, James. Big crowds out again, and I suppose in the first heat you'd the late keen mover Linson Rocky ran very well again, just bombed out. Touring boats ran very well behind him and put it up to him to the third bend, but he came away. Tommy's Lord back in third. But again, Linson Rocky, to be fair to him, has shown he's 3 wins in his card and just great early, and he's got everything really, to be fair to the dog, and seems to be a very good dog for Pat Buckley. I suppose in the second semi-final it was a bit of a messy race. I thought 007 myself would win it, but unfortunately there was a lot of trouble there, and I suppose Escapism then with his great pace down the back, he won with, I think it was 2 of Peter Cronin's dogs Peter Cronin's dog Tyne Baz was third, and Jerry Griffin's dog Mobile Tracker was second again. 2 of them actually were in the same heat in the first round, the Tyne Baz dog and the Mobile Tracker. So it's great for all connections to be in the final really. A bit unlucky for Tom Connor's dog, the Skywalker Manor, that was sold during the week. Just a bit disappointing for them, I suppose, and he just didn't get the kick at the start tonight. But I'm sure he'll be very good down in the future as well.
Plus the all-important draw, there was a big crowd around the table outside. Linson Rocky looks to have got a really good draw in trap 2. He's 1 out of 1, he's 1 out of 4, he's 1 out of 6. I don't think the draw matters that much to him, but I think that the IG draw, as Pat Buckley was saying earlier, would be 2 or 3.
Yeah, definitely, and again, as you say, James, he's just done everything. He's done nothing wrong from the start of the stake, and his times are sensational and fair. He's doing it every night. The only thing I suppose tonight, the next night you wouldn't know how Escapism will break. He's broken poorly in all his heats, and if he got a run at all, he'd do a serious run. Again, Mobile Tracker in 3, he just seems to be diving for the rail every night, and it could make for an interesting final if he dives left for the rails and Escapism breaks. There could be anything, and I suppose Peter Cronin's 2 dogs in the final, Tommy's Lord and Tyne Walbaz. None of them have actually won any heat, so it's amazing. I suppose like anything, it's just to get to the final, and anything can happen in it.
I suppose Escapism drawn in trap 1, that could be a bit of a spanner in the works. He looks to be a kind of a middle to wide runner, if anything.
Yeah, and he just hasn't had any luck in breaking. No, he's a big dog. I think he's 83 or 4 pounds. But if he can break, sure, he'd go very close on the clock round here, because he's showing serious pace when he gets a chance, when he gets a bit of open space in front of him. But he just hasn't had it to date. And again, I'm not sure can he get away at this early stage in his career. But if again, you'd have to say if Linson Rocky does break, he's doing 302 again tonight. I'd say he looks the dog to beat, and it all goes down to the draw. Everything seems to be set up for Linson Rocky to be the final. It'd be great to have 4 wins on the trot. It's a very unique thing to do, and it'd be great if it happened.
Of course, looking forward to next Friday night. It's going to be a big night for Galvin Murphy Hooper Dolan. The track will be packed to capacity, and from a sponsor's point of view, this is, look, you want all the big dogs, the good dogs in the final, and it promises to be a special evening.
Yeah, it'd be great, and I suppose in the final then there's Patrick O'Connor's dog Toureen Bolt, and it'd be lovely if there was a Kerry winner. I think there's only been 1 Kerry winner before, as my mother actually owned the dog, but it'd be great for that. And from our own point of view, the next day there's I think about 51 of us coming. There's 30 of our staff coming, and We've got 21 people from insurance companies coming. Again, I suppose the key, and this is I think it's our 7th year sponsoring the Juvenile Classic. Again, I suppose the business partners would be Ty Galvin and myself. Ty really wouldn't have any major interest in the dogs, and it's nice for myself to do it here. And again, as I say, look, our business is a good business to be in, and every guy has insurance, so we'd obviously appeal to anybody that has insurance to give us a shout. And if we can, we seem to be the only insurance broker supporting the dog industry in Ireland.
Well, your tip last week was Linson Rocky. It looks to be going according to plan. I don't think you saw anything tonight that probably would change your mind on that one.
No, again, he just seems to be doing everything right. In fairness, he's done the transition from Joe Reedy's kennel to Pat Buckley's very well, and obviously Pat is doing a great job with him. He seems to have great early, and he just has everything, and if he does what he's done all the last 3 nights, it's very, very hard to see him beat.
So that's where we're going to leave it for the semi-final stages of the Galvin Murphy Hooper Dolan. Join us next Friday night, the capacity crowd here at the Kingdom Greyhound Stadium. It promises to be a night to remember, so if you're out there, get on down for the final of the Galvin Murphy Hooper Dolan next Friday night here at the Kingdom Greyhound Stadium.